Good morning, everybody. Today we shall be talking about the fundamentals of English language teaching, Unit 4, which tells us something about curriculum, syllabus, and design. The words curriculum and syllabus are used interchangeably and hence create much confusion. Curriculum is a much broader pedagogical canvas and has a wide plan or map of a particular course of study that is covered in a document. While a syllabus is a blueprint in the hands of the teacher and it gives guidance on the details of the transmission of knowledge, the course is the actual text in the hands of the teacher. Designing a course is fundamentally a matter of asking questions in order to provide a reasoned basis for the subsequent processes of syllabus design, material writing, classroom teaching, and evaluation. Hence, while designing the course, the notions of need analysis of the learners and course objectives, both general and specific objectives, are to be borne in mind. Because based upon these, the syllabus is designed, which could be structural, functional, notional, skill, or task based. The materials are developed according to the syllabus design, which is followed by the evaluation, both learner assessment and course evaluation. Hence, curriculum, syllabus, and course are cyclical in their relationship with each other. If you look at what exactly the syllabus is, the concept of curriculum is quite bigger in its view, broader in its view, and the concept of syllabus has the narrow concept of the broad concept of curriculum. The broad view of syllabus is in accordance with the narrow view of curriculum as it includes the description of the target group, communicates the aims and objectives of the teaching, list of the topics or contents along with the suggested techniques and evaluation patterns. The broad syllabus is a document which gives guidance on the details of the transmission of knowledge by the teacher to the students. According to Bernstein, in page number 85 of his book, he writes, a syllabus indicates what is considered to be valid knowledge and valid transmission of knowledge according to the experts in society. Richards, Platt, and Weber define syllabus as a description of the contents of a course, instruction, and the order in which it is to be taught in the class. Bromfitt's definition of syllabus is noteworthy here. In 1984, Bromfitt opines that the syllabus is the specification of the work of a particular group or class. It specifies the entry level behavior and the terminal behavior of the learners. It specifies what is taught and it cannot be realized or organized what is learned. It is negotiable and adjustable. It's a public document, he says, and an expression of accountability. A good syllabus should have the following points. It should describe the target group. It should have the aims and objectives. It should have the list of topics and contents. Suggested techniques should be there as to how it can be implemented in the classroom, and it should also have the evaluation patterns. Traditionally, our syllabus has always been perceived as a plan or pre-designed instrument which incorporates the course content that is to be executed in the class by the teacher in the teaching learning situation. It is in this way that it becomes the narrow description of the syllabus. The good syllabus with all these five: description of the target group, aims and objectives, list of topics and contents, suggested techniques and evaluation patterns is considered to be a good syllabus. But when we look at the curriculum is a bigger concept and it includes the wider pedagogical canvas that includes everything that comes within its purview. Any smaller educational phenomena become the microcosm of the larger pedagogical scheme. It includes the parents' expectations from the educational system, attitude to the school, the students' expectations, proficiency of language, relationships with particular teacher, attitude to the school and home environment, the teacher's teaching objectives, the teacher's attitude to the class, to the student, and also to the school in general. Mostly speaking, the broad view of curriculum includes everything that is related to the education system from the point of view of the teachers, students, and parents. The narrower view of curriculum is indicated to the syllabus design. Richards, Platt, and Weber defined curriculum as an educational program which states the means and ends of the education system itself. It should state the educational purpose of the program, that is, the ends, the content, teaching procedures, and learning experiences which will be necessary to achieve the purpose or the means, and some means of assessing whether or not educational ends have been achieved. Hurst defines curriculum as the program of activities as the course to be run by pupils in being educated. Kerr describes curriculum as activities themselves and says that a curriculum is all the learning which is planned and guided by the school, whether it is carried on in groups or individually, inside or outside the classroom. White in 1988 defines curriculum as a plan, like a plan of a house yet to be constructed. Inputs needed to implement the plan, like a plan of how to build a house, and implementation of the plan, like the view of the house after it has been completed and is a dwelling for its inhabitants. The first part of the definition is the narrower definition of curriculum, and the last is the broadest view of the curriculum. The narrower view of curriculum includes the objectives and the content, while the second view includes methods along with the objectives and the content, while the broad view of curriculum includes the objectives, content, methods, and evaluation. Thus, we have something like the broader view of the curriculum and a narrower view of curriculum. The broad view of curriculum are a large social document that includes the expectations, proficiency of language, relationship with the particular teacher, attitude to the school, home environment, the parents' attitude to the school, the teaching objective, and the teacher's attitude towards the class, to the student, to the text, and also to the school. Whereas the narrower view of curriculum is almost similar to that of what we described as the syllabus. So the curriculum as such will have the broad definition and narrow definition. Broad definition is the expectation of the government and all the stakeholders from education. And the narrower view of definition of curriculum is almost the broader view of the definition of syllabus. And the narrower view of the definition of syllabus is nothing but the course or the textbook. So, syllabus is a sort of document, as we said, and there could be different types of syllabi depending upon the curriculum outcomes. Of the various suggestions of the document of syllabus, it should help the learners to learn English, for which it should record the content or list of items to be prescribed for achieving the aims and objectives of teaching English. Depending on the way the content is organized, the syllabi can be of two broad categories. Number one, the product based syllabus, and the process based syllabus. The product based syllabus is also called as the predetermined syllabus. The predetermined syllabus has a number of types of syllabi like the structural syllabus, the situational syllabus, functional syllabus, and lexical syllabus. The product based syllabus are comparatively old type of syllabi and focus on the end product. They are also called as the predetermined syllabus because it has the content with carefully graded and selected units of categorization already being planned by the educationists. It is the syllabus document in the hands of the teacher which is ready to be taught in the class, and the teacher or the students have got nothing to do with the change of it. The structural syllabus is the syllabus which is very familiarly called as the grammatical syllabus or the linguistic syllabus because it is centered on grammatical items like articles, tenses, adverbial forms, plural forms, etc. The structural syllabus was produced in mid-50s in Madras, and it was made the part of the state school curriculum. Very soon, it spread to different parts of the country. The inspiration came from the pioneering works of Mackay, Noonan, and others at the Institute of London. They attempted to do for the structures of English what Michael West and others have done for vocabulary. That is, prepare a list of minimum number of words and structures that a non-native learner would need in order to be able to communicate adequately. Accordingly, 2,500 basic vocabulary items of English and 250 structures were carefully selected and graded following the criteria of frequency, range, productivity, teachability, and learnability, and were taught in the artificial situations of the classroom. The structural syllabus is subject centered syllabus because its starting point is the internal structure of the language rather than its use. The sequencing of items in the structural syllabus is based on the accumulated practical wisdom of teachers, which may not watch or match with the natural order of acquisition by the learners. The syllabus gives practice to learners in maintaining and manipulating language forms but gives less attention to the functional meaning that the language forms can be used for. Grammatical grading implies the mastery of one grammatical item at a time. But language acquisition is more global rather than linear process, and it demands the learning of different items simultaneously. Though the structural syllabus has got its own interesting progress, but still it has got a problem that it is more artificial. And hence the second type of syllabus of predetermined one has emerged, which is the situational and the functional syllabus. The situational syllabus identifies the different situations like at the bank, at the post office, etc., where the learners are likely to use the language, analyze the transactions they are likely to make in those situations, and give them the language they need to successfully perform those transactions. For example, in the situation at the railway station, people go there to buy tickets or cancel tickets, make inquiry regarding the trains related to particular routes, check train timings, and the like. They need to interact with the employees of the station to get their work done. The syllabus designer will make a list of the language items necessary to perform these functions. Such like 20 or to 25 common situations are identified, and the syllabus is made by giving the situation, writing dialogues to the imagined characters with pictures, discuss the grammatical and phonological along with morphological details from the given dialogues. People use a range of linguistic forms in any given situation. The situational unit should try to cover all the linguistic forms that are used in the context. Otherwise, learners will follow a few sentences appropriate to the situation rather than structures. This type of syllabus is useful for those who use language in limited situations and for specific purposes. The learners will be motivated to study because it is based on their needs. The third type of syllabus that has become famous is the functional syllabus. The criteria for the selection and organization of the content is functions of the language. A list of functions is made and graded in terms of its usefulness to the learners, and the language necessary for performing these functions is provided to the learners. By using language, people perform functions like asking for information, giving answers, expressing likes or dislikes, agreeing or disagreeing, asking for permission, giving and refusing permission, introducing oneself, introducing someone to others, starting a conversation with a stranger, closing a conversation, congratulating somebody, responding to compliments, asking for help, telephone conversations, and so on and so forth. The order of these functions depend on the communicative needs of the learners. The functional syllabus is in accordance with the learner's needs, and the learned syllabus is immediately put into their use. Even the dropouts from the course would have developed some communicative capability. But the limitation to the course could be that the list of functions may not necessarily reflect the way languages are learned. As the functions dictate the structures to be used, sometimes difficult structures should feature earlier than the simple structures, which may be difficult from the learner's point of view. The fourth variety of the predetermined syllabus is called as the lexical syllabus. In this type of syllabus, word frequency determines the contents of the course. Samples of natural languages are analyzed on a large scale using computers, and the commonest word list in the language along with the commonest patterns is identified. The learners are exposed to the different ways in which these words are used in the most natural environment. In the early 80s, COBILD research team analyzed 20 million words and found that there are 700 most frequently used words which account for around 70% of all English texts. 1500 for around 76 English texts and 2500 around 80% English texts. Accordingly, the learners are introduced to 700 most frequently used words of English at level 1. At the level 2, they are exposed to 1500 words, and then at level 3, they are exposed to 2500 words. At the end of level 3, the learners learn 80% of the words along with their meanings and their use. So this is very interesting. So a predetermined syllabus has the content which is well planned. The unit of categorization is already planned, and all the items, whether it is structural, situational, functional, or lexical, are carefully selected and graded. And the syllabus document is ready in the hands of the teacher to teach in the classroom situation. So, a predetermined syllabus is constructed in the following steps. A view of the target language, its use, specific objectives, methodology, etc. is arrived at. The needs of the learners are already ascertained. The required content, whether language structures or anything, is already prepared and the content is ready to be delivered in the classroom. The predetermined syllabus, therefore, can be structured as a linear, as you could see in the steps, or maybe a straight line. The linear is you teach one, you test them and go to the higher level. Then teach that, test them and go to the higher level. Teach that, test them. Teach that, test them. And you keep on following a ladder in the linear method. Or many a times it could be a straight upward line where you teach to a certain level, test them, and then teach the next level, and then the third, and then the fourth, and you keep on moving up. So it could be a linear one. The predetermined syllabus also can be spiral, as you could see. You start with one, you teach something, you test, go ahead, again you test, you go down, and in a cyclical way, a spiral way, it goes on. Either it could be spiral or it could be cyclical, as you could see. Start with the smaller syllabus and then go on to the next, come down again into this, the beginning one, then go down to the third level, again come down to second and first level, and keep on moving in a cyclical way. Either in a spiral way or in a cyclical way, you move about. Examination formats are determined, which is directly related to the content in predetermined syllabus. The other type of syllabus is called as the emergent syllabus. While teaching and after teaching will determine the things to be taught in the next day. So it is not a predetermined document in the hands of the teacher, but the teacher will decide what is to be taught to the students the next day based upon the feedback that he or she gets from the students. The emphasis is in the process of learning, which describes the how, why, and what of the learning of the syllabus. The predetermined syllabus is a product oriented syllabus, whereas the emergent syllabus is a process oriented syllabus, as you could find in the experimentation of Dr. N.S. Prabhu and others in Bangalore. The process oriented syllabus or the procedural syllabus is also known as the emergent syllabus. The predetermined syllabus involves in the decisions made by the language experts and pedagogists before the actual learning commences. The teachers and the students have nothing to say in the determined syllabus. Whatever the document is prepared at the higher level is just to be executed within the class. Irrespective whether the students are interested into it or the students are learning from it, the students are getting improved from it or no. The teachers and the students have got nothing to say in it. Whereas the emergent syllabus is concerned with issues that involve decisions made while teaching in the classroom by the teacher and the students. The while teaching and after teaching are very important, based upon which the teacher decides the next day learning material and the topic to be taught. The emphasis is on the process of learning, which is what decides, as we said, how, why, and what of learning. Hence, the emergent syllabus is not product oriented, but it is process oriented. And the emergent syllabus is known by different words like the procedural syllabus or the retrospective syllabus or the negotiated syllabus. The emergent syllabus can be structured in the following way. The while teaching and after teaching will determine the things to be taught in the next day. The predetermined syllabus is absent over here. No predetermined document is there in the hands of the teacher. And the focus is on the actual learning processes that are going on. Accordingly, the predetermined syllabus is outdated and the emergent syllabus has come into existence in the recent period, which can be of two types. That which is described by N.S. Prabhu, which examines methodical issues in addition to the language development, and that which is described by Professor Breen, which is more concerned with what happens in the classroom. Let us look into both. If we look at the N.S. Prabhu's model, it distinguishes between the product and the process oriented in the following way. A syllabus can be seen to have either or both of the two major rules. It is, on the one hand, an articulation of what is intended to be taught, and on the other hand, an indication of what is to be done in the classroom. In the first role, the syllabus is an analysis of the objective or the content of teaching and may be said to be product based. In its second role, the syllabus is the specifications of the means envisaged for achieving the objectives and may be said to be process based. In the product-oriented syllabus can be well planned in advance and strive to achieve the phenomena of what is taught in the class. The learning acquisition model underlying the process syllabus is that which is done in the classroom is qualitatively different in nature. Both in Professor Breen's model and Prabhu's model of process syllabi focus on actual learning activities. But Prabhu's model examines methodological issue in addition to the language development. Hence, in contrast to the explicit syllabus document, there exists a hidden, there also exists a hidden syllabus that goes on in the classroom deliberations, which actually helps the learner learn the language. N.S. Prabhu's model can be described in the following ways, whereupon it encourages the process of learning through his or her syllabus design. It also emphasizes on the procedural question methodology. The pre-tasks, the tasks, and the post-tasks technique is followed. The tasks are cognitively challenging. The task-based teaching learning helps in achieving the hidden syllabus and hidden curriculum. Concerned with actually what happens in the classroom, what is actually taught and what ought to be taught. The real syllabus is a combination of the syllabus document A, which is the document that is made, the teacher's syllabus, which is the B, the syllabus of various students and their expectations, which could be called as C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, depending upon the number of teachers and students that are present, and syllabus D, which is the actual classroom syllabus that is executed. This is the real syllabus that is going on in the classroom, which might be quite different from the syllabus document that is made, the teacher's syllabus and the student syllabus. A combination of everything is what happens in the classroom. Thereupon, it is more challenging for the teachers and students. For the teachers, because what is taught is not determined. For the students, because they learn actually the challenges of picking up the language. The real syllabus is the classroom syllabus, which actually involves in the classroom deliberations. The real syllabus helps the learner to learn the language as it is participative and learner-centric completely. So, the difference between the predetermined and the emergent syllabi can be studied as follows. The predetermined syllabus is pre-designed and fixed syllabus, whereas the emergent syllabus is a real syllabus and it is negotiable because it changes according to the expectations of the teachers and the students. The second is the predetermined syllabus has the more importance given to the teacher. The teacher has in fact no role in designing the syllabus, but he has to execute the syllabus as it is in the classroom. Whereas in the emergent syllabus, the teacher and the learner decide the syllabus. There is no external agency to decide the syllabus. The third distinction is It is decided by the external agency, whereas the emergent syllabus is decided by the learners themselves. The course methodology and evaluation is fixed in a predetermined syllabus, whereas the course methodology and evaluation are fixed by the learners and not by the external agencies. In a predetermined syllabus, the learners are passive and it is teacher centric syllabus. Whereas in an emergent syllabus, learners are very active, participative, and determine classroom proceedings. It is actually a learner based and learner centric syllabus. So, all these experimentation in course, curriculum, and syllabus enables the teacher to go beyond a textbook. A textbook is just a document to achieve the goals, aims, and objectives of education. Implementation of the course contents, methodology to be adopted, activities to be incorporated, the various audiovisual aids to be used depend on the imagination of the teacher and the availability of the resources. The document of syllabus needs alteration, adaptation, enriching, expanding by using support and authentic materials for teaching. Newspaper articles, advertisements, objects and realia, activities, games, and various tasks should supplement the teaching of the textbook, which make the class more participative, communicative, and learner centric. It is not just the teaching of the textbook in the class and completing with inverted commas may the syllabus, but it is playing with the language within the class and motivating the students to learn the language effectively and efficiently. Thus, we come to the end of the discussion of the curriculum, syllabus, and design. These three are interrelated to each other, and the three aim to realize the goals, aims, and objectives of teaching and learning. Thank you for having a patient listening. Bye for now.